Across the United States, Canada, and Europe, wherever there is deep powder, freshly groomed trails, or an oval track waiting to be conquered, you'll find Ski-Doo. Introducing the choice lineup of 1991 Ski-Doo snowmobiles.
Fans of the fastest show on ice, be sure and keep your eyes today on this world-class competitor, Bruce Vasseur of Honey Harbor, Ontario, the defending world champion and the 1989 Sports Series winner. He's chasing his second title in the Indy 500 of snowmobile racing here in Eagle River, Wisconsin. Also watch the high corner power slides of number 96, the Flying Frenchman from St. Cuthbert, Quebec, Jacques Villeneuve. He is looking for his fourth World Snowmobile Championship today. And then there's Eagle River's own Chuck Decker, the 1987 champion, out to etch his name in the record books for a second time. These former champs will have plenty of competition for the top guns, including Dale Loritz of Green Bay, Wisconsin. Loritz currently leads the NGK Ski-Doo Sports Series, the premier pro snowmobile racing circuit. Also expect a serious challenge from Dave Wall, a hard-charging straight-line racer from Greenbush, Minnesota, who finished second in the Sports Series last year. He set a new time trial record of 36.62 for a 2-lap trip around the 1/2 mile ice oval here this week, breaking the previous record which he set here last year.
From Eagle River, Wisconsin, this is the 1990 Old Style World Championship Snowmobile Derby.
Hello, I'm Paul Page, and welcome to Eagle River, Wisconsin for the 27th annual Eagle River Snowmobile World Championship. Bobby Unser, 3-time winner of the Indianapolis 500-mile race, is here as he is almost every year. Bobby, special honor for you. You've been inducted into the Motorsports Hall of Fame. Congratulations.
Well, thank you, Paul. More important than that right now is to be right here in Eagle River at the World Championship NGK Ski-Doo snowmobile races. Really a neat place to be.
And this is really the granddaddy of all snowmobile racing. This is the big one. It's the Indy 500.
It is the Indy 500 of snowmobiling. This is the biggest snowmobile race in the world. The guy that wins here is known throughout the world. He is the king for a whole year.
Very shortly, we'll be determining the world champion for the 27th time here at Eagle River. But before we do that, let's go back and look to earlier in the season in the road that led to Eagle River. The action started December 10th in Beausejour, Manitoba, where Jacques Villeneuve came from behind and stole the lead position from Greg Goodwin to capture the Sports Series opener. Villeneuve was the undisputed frontrunner throughout the weekend, scoring a 27 out of a possible 28 points in qualifications. The following week, it was on to Brainerd, Minnesota, where Dale Loritz won his first Sports Series event. Loritz, named Snow Week Racer of the Year last season, was in high gear after earning the pole position in qualifications. In the 15-lap final, Loritz overpowered Dave Wall on lap 3 and went on to take the checkered flag by a wide margin. The Peterborough, Ontario Speedway set the stage for Sports Series race number 3 on January 7th, where it was Greg Goodwin's time to shine. After a ski-to-ski battle with Dale Loritz at the starting line, Goodwin emerged the frontrunner, ultimately breaking away from the pack at the halfway mark. He held on to win the Karwatha Cup International. Bruce Vasseur made a late charge to take second, leaving Loritz in third. Wall maintained that pace in the Sports Series race number 4, which was the Formula One feature event here on Friday. Wall led the pack from flag to flag, crossing the line half a straightaway in front of Dale Loritz. Bruce Vasseur took third. Jeff and Greg Goodwin finished 4th and 5th respectively. The race provided a glimpse of what could very well happen here in the 25-lap World Championship final. Before we go to the last chance race, which will determine the 10th and last frontline position for the World's Championship, we thought you might enjoy hearing from a few of the top racers' most loyal supporters. They'll give you the women's perspective on professional snowmobile racing.
It's in their blood. Mm-hmm. If you have racing in your blood, forget it.
If they aren't racing snowmobiles, they'll be racing something else somewhere along the line. If they retire from snowmobile racing, I would say every race driver is always going to be racing something.
Every night, except for, yeah. He does. He talks about every race. If I don't go that weekend, he'll come home, he'll wake me up and say, guess who did this and that, and it's an hour, 2 hours, you know. But he always talks racing. There's not a day goes by that he doesn't talk about his racing.
I mean, that's all that's running through their mind, and Jeff talks so much. Greg doesn't say as much, but Jeff is always talking about it. And it's interesting because they give you their perspective, like out there, when there's 2 laps to go or whatever, and you know, you're like, well, what are you thinking? What are you thinking? And they tell you, you know, what they're going through when they're out there on the track, because you don't know what that's like.
I guess it never really used to bother me until last year, and his big crash into the wall. After that, I don't know. I guess I never realized how bad it, you know, I never seen him crash until that time. And ever since, I don't know, it's kind of bothered me, you know, just get over with this, you know, the last lap. I count every lap, every corner, you know, but I don't, it's really exciting, you know, I can't say that, but it's nerve-wracking too.
We grew up around sleds as most people did, and we just got into racing, and once, like you say, you're in it, you are in it. And the more you're around it, the more you become involved. I've crashed, I went through that wall, and you always come back. It's just there.
Well, I know it's the race David has dreamed about ever since he was young, ever since I've known him. So, I don't know, if he won this race ever, it would be, he'd probably quit. I don't know.
Sleds now moved online. Vasseur and Villeneuve both jumping up and down to plant the back end, the twin tracks of that skidoo as solid as they can into the ice.
Now this
and
time
Vasseur,
Jock got off good on the line, Paul.
Vasseur gets the high line, coming in and off of the second turn, and picks up the lead on the backstretch as Villeneuve drops into third place. So Vasseur, with a better start from the outside, is able to get the better line to the first corner.
I even saw Jock move up to the outside line, which normally every year I watch him back here, he runs up there. Today, in most of the qualifying races, he's been on the bottom, but now he's up. And remember, this is the do-or-die race. Make it or lose it completely.
So out in front, it is Gary Vasseur, the number 15 sled. Jacques Villeneuve trying desperately to come up to the front of the track and challenge Vasseur.
Now it looks like Vasseur's got his machine fixed. He's been having a bit of a problem with it, but it's hooked up and going good now, Paul. He's smooth going into the turns. He's up in a high groove. The track is very smooth up there. He's really moving.
Villeneuve comes under Lagoy, coming off of 4, and picks up second place. Now he can begin his challenge of Vasseur with 3 laps complete. This is really a tremendous battle. You have to remember that the two are very, very close friends. In fact, Vasseur helped prepare Villeneuve's sleds when Villeneuve returned to snowmobile racing, and this may in fact be one of the closing races of Gary Vasseur's career, as Villeneuve now closes on Gary Vasseur, and he's beginning to make up the distance.
We certainly hope it isn't Gary Vasseur's last race, Paul, but both of them are very good racers. Jock, you can see the way he's bent down, the way he's going down the straightaways now. He's very serious. He knows he's got to make it now, and it's going to be difficult. 5
laps complete. In a lot of ways, Jacques Villeneuve may now be on the most desperate drive of his life, as he would like to catch up with Vasseur, challenge him, and get past so that he can start on the front row in the world final. A 3-time world champion here at Eagle River. Vasseur comes across the line.
You could watch when they went to turn 3. Jock got a little sideways because he's driving in the turns so hard. It's just a wonder if that thing's going to stick, Paul, trying to catch up there and catch Vasseur.
The battle remains at the front of the field, and they've pulled a full straightaway ahead of the rest of the sleds in this fight. No one else is really in this contest. And, of course, this is a winner-take-all situation as we reach the halfway point in this, the 4th semifinal, the consolation run here at Eagle River.
Jock picks up on Vasseur a little bit through number 1 and 2 turn, but he seems to lose a little bit down the straightaways, but he's certainly driving those turns hard.
Still, Jock closes in on his Skidoo twin track, and this, the NGK Skidoo Sports Series, as he closes even closer on Vasseur. Two old rivals, two great friends now battling. Villeneuve picks up a little bit, coming off of 2. He's set up right behind Vasseur as they go into 3. Jock kicks the sled over. Vasseur is able to pull out just a bit. Jock comes off just a little lower than Vasseur and then very close to the wall as they come onto the main stretch.
He can't try any harder. He's just taking that sled and just literally throwing it into the corners. And, of course, Vasseur can't see what he's doing because he's in front of Jock. But if he knew how hard Jock was trying, he'd certainly try to pick his pace up just a bit.
So now running to the finish as Vasseur and Villeneuve close on a slower sled. It'll be a factor as they come off the line. Both Vasseur, Villeneuve come high, and Vasseur takes the win. He moves on to the front row, picking up that 10th position. We'll be back with the driver introduction. So for the 27th time, we are set and ready to go for the World Championship at Eagle River. Let's take a look at the lineup. Over to the right of your screen on the inside of the first row, number 74, Dave Wall, the track record holder here. Alongside the 03 sled of Alan Decker. His brother Chuck Decker is alongside, a former winner here in 04. Then 67, the current points leader, Dale Loritz. Number 3 is Greg Goodwin. 15, Gary Vasseur. Number 8, Joe Ludwig. Number 4, Jeff Goodwin. Mark Perks is on 23, and Bruce Vasseur, the defending champion, rounds out the front row on the outside. Then starting in the second row, 2 sleds, the number 96 of the 3-time world champion, Jacques Villeneuve, and 34, which belongs to Steve Shearing. Both Villeneuve and Shearing got in that last chance shootout, and this is the first time for Shearing in this world championship race. It is the 7th qualification for Gary Vasseur, Dave Wall, and Alan Decker, but they have never won. There are 3 pairs of brothers, as perhaps you noted, the Deckers, the Vasseurs, and the Goodwins. 12 riders. The 27th time. The flag comes out, and they begin their acceleration as Alan Decker is able to pull out the drag race into the first turn, but Dave Wall, with that shot down the inside, takes the lead, coming off of number 2. Decker begins his pursuit now. Wall, very quick into that first corner, got a nice start.
And right up to the outside, just exactly where we thought Dave Wall would go. Right behind him is Alan Decker, both of them running the high groove. Now they'll keep that clean the entire race up there, so the guys in the bottom won't be throwing excessive amount of ice in front of them and letting the track get real slippery. But Dave Walpole is pulling out pretty good for just 1 lap.
Dale Loritz, the current points leader, moves into number 3 position, but he begins a battle now with Bruce Vasseur, the defending champion. So the fight is for 3rd place as Dave Wall leads this race at Eagle River with 2 laps now complete. Fight developing 3rd, 4th, and 5th on the backstretch, as Wall has a nice solid lead. But Bobby, look at that fight for 3rd, 4th, and 5th, 6th, 7th. They're all together.
And watch them when they go through the little bumps. What seems like no bumps at all to these fast racing sleds. These Formula One sleds are actually pretty rough when they hit them. Sometimes before this race is over, watch, and some of them will get airborne a little bit, Paul.
Bruce and Gary Vasseur right together there for 4th. The Goodwins right behind, and Jacques Villeneuve from his last row position has now moved up 5 places and begins to challenge on the outside of the field and starts his move up through this field. So Jacques Villeneuve definitely on the fly. Wall is still out in front.
In the 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th places of the Goodwin brothers right in the middle of it, really having a knockdown drag out right now, Paul.
So Jacques Villeneuve begins to close now and tries to challenge Greg Goodwin as that fight continues back in the field. And Bobby, I don't think we've seen this many sleds as close as they are in that fight for 4th through 7th. They're really running right together.
Yeah, and then they've got Jacques Villeneuve right in the very back of that whole pack, and boy, he's going to mix it up. Now, he has to do good today. 3-time world champion. The guy's got to do good. He's had it rough all weekend, so he's really on a roll.
Dave Wall, very popular here, leads the race. There's the 74 sled.
He's set up and handling a little bit better, Paul. If you just watch him when he goes into the turns, look at that. He's just exceptionally smooth. And that's really technology.
He's been doing that since he arrived here. He's really got that sled set up well. That's skillful driving, but it's also knowing how to get that sled to work on the ice on any given day.
I think he's got a lot of track savvy that way, and I'm agreeing with you 100%. It's really not skill, it's just really knowing how to make that sled work to his best benefit.
Villeneuve continues his battle with the Goodwins. A tremendous fight there, and at the same time, closing on second place now is Dale Loritz. So Loritz is closing down on Decker as we now turn our attentions to the fight for second, as Alan Decker is trying to hold off Loritz.
Now, as you watch, just as soon as Loritz caught Alan Decker, Paul, got up close to him, Alan changed his groove. He went down to the bottom of the racetrack and he slowed down. Now there goes Loritz right back by him, or right by him for second place.
So Loritz picks up second place. Alan Decker drops back to third, and Dave Wall continues his lead now with 10 of the 25 laps complete. The 15 sled of Gary Vasser comes across the line in fourth place. Then his brother, then the Goodwin brothers, as the battle continues here at Eagle River.
Now Loritz is definitely picking up on Dave Wall right now. He's closed the gap a little bit. He's gone away from Alan Decker. He's in second place. Definitely looking at Dave Wall, and he wants to win this race.
Jacques Villeneuve has had his problems in that fight, has now dropped backwards and is no longer contesting.
Gary Vasser just pulled out, Paul. He probably had engine problems. Looked like he's just coasting to a stop on the back straightaway.
Pulled up on turn 2 and is coming to a stop indeed, so the run that Vasser had is now come to an end. While back at the front of the field, Dale Loritz is closing down and closing that interval on Dave Wall, so we could see a fight for the lead here just any second.
Dave Wall is moving his groove around just a little bit. To him, a little bit is a whole bunch. Still going in pretty high through 1 and 2. Staying pretty high coming off at 2. Real high down the back straightaway.
Now Alan Decker on the charge, coming up alongside Wall in a battle for, coming up alongside of Loritz in a battle for second place. So Decker and Loritz, as they chase Wall, here comes Decker trying to get past Loritz.
Loritz has had some sort of a problem. He's definitely slowed down. Decker hasn't really picked up his speed right there, but for some reason or another, Loritz, you watch him coming off the turn, Paul, he just doesn't get off really good.
Running in fourth place now is the defending champion here at Eagle River, the defending world champion, Bruce Vasser, who now has fourth place by himself. Chuck Decker, once he got past the 67 sled of Loritz, moved away, and Loritz has begun to slow even more. It looks like he's struggling now with his machine as Vasser closes in.
It seems to just quit, like right there, his machine just quit coming off the turn. In the straightaways, the engine's quit. So he's either got maybe some fuel starvation problems. Could be, Paul, because it gets to running sometimes.
So Loritz, who was the points leader, will probably see that situation change if he can't change his status right now. He continues to run slow and is being overhauled by the rest of the field. Dave Wall is still out in front. Alan Decker is still chasing. Wall flashes across the line, completing the 17th lap. Then comes Decker. And now third place is occupied by Bruce Vasser, and fourth place is Greg Goodwin.
Dave Wall is 2.5 seconds ahead of Alan Decker right now, Paul.
Out on the track, Loritz continues to try and stay in the action. I think he's hoping that something will change on that sled, or maybe just through attrition he will occupy a good position. Dave Wall is having a remarkable run here, looking probably now at his first Eagle River Championship.
Now this is about the time we're going to see some of the drivers probably tiring just a little bit. It's a long race. The drivers definitely get tired by the time this race is over.
Bobby, that's an interesting point. The difference between the shorter races and something as long as this, it's only a 10-lap difference than most, but it seems to be something that really takes a lot of energy out of them.
Snowmobiles are a little bit like motocross racing and motorbikes. They really tire the riders out pretty hard. They work them really good.
So Dave Wall on the stretch now. Looked like he was having a problem for just a moment with his helmet. He pulled a strap clear and his vision wasn't, it seems like it was clouded, and he slowed down just a bit on the front stretch. We watch very closely as Wall now closes on the slower sled of Chuck Decker, but he's got Chuck's brother, Alan, set up right behind him and now beginning to challenge.
Dave Wall is having problems right now. He's slowed down quite a bit. Alan Decker's right on him. And he's probably running right now, it looks like, with no face shield. That means he's going to have to stay in the lead, Paul, or whenever he's behind another sled, that hard ice that the sleds are chunking up is going to go right in his face.
Well, with only a few laps remaining now, it doesn't appear that he's going to close right down on any sled directly in front of him. But still, he has a tremendous challenge, and certainly Alan Decker is aware of this as he's set up right behind him and is closing just a little bit. He's gaining just inches at a time. Time may run out, though. There are now 3 laps left to go.
Dave has picked his pace back up again. What it was is he had a problem seeing it for a little while. And most likely, with the wind chill factor being as low as it is, the ice was freezing on his lens. So he was having a hard problem getting the ice off of. He was tearing his tear-offs off. That's so he could tear one off and still be able to see.
Well, if he can see it all now, he knows the white flag just came out. He has less than a lap to go, and he will win his first World Championship. Struggling with vision, Decker on the charge as fast as he can come down the backstretch. Now Wall will have some slower sleds in front of him, which may make a difference to visibility, but it does not appear that that will affect the finish of this race as Dave Wall takes his first World Championship here in the 27th run at Eagle River. Alan Decker comes across the line in second place, about a second and a half behind Wall. So the fastest man here turns an incredible race and leads right from the start.
Yeah, we have one of them here, the number 8 sled of Joe Ludwig, trying to push a sled to get to the finish line. Look at that, Paul. That is really remarkable. That shows you how bad the guys really want to run here at the Eagle River Championship races.
The crowd and the officials, even the starter, egging him along, saying, come on, get her across the line. He only has about 20 feet to go as Dave Wall, the new world champion, coasts past to receive the laurels of championship. Dave Wall wins at Eagle River.
I've been here many years, so it's hard to believe that it actually happened. I know, it just goes to show a person that persistence does pay most of the time.
What has changed over the last years for you to be so competitive, so tough to beat over this weekend?
The Skidoo Twin Track, that's the ticket right there. That's what changed our racing career when we picked up on the Skidoos. That's when things started happening.
From Eagle River, Wisconsin, this has been the 1990 Old Style World Championship Snowmobile Derby.
Here are some scenes of the 8th Annual International Snowmobile Festival.
Hi, we're from Toledo, Ohio, having a wonderful time at the International Snowmobile Festival.
Bonjour, Valcourt. We're from Binghamton, New York. Vive la Festival!
There are a lot of snowmobile festivals across the snow belt, but I can't think of one that compares with the International Festival here in Valcourt. It's a marvelous collection of games, events, the races, marvelous trail riding, people from all across North America and plenty from other countries, even Australia and Europe. It's a great time. It is a festival that truly lives up to its billing with all the events. There must be 5 different kinds of slaloms, bed races, lots of silly games, live entertainment, parties, dinners. It's a terrific festival. That's all there is to it.
Hi, Steve and Debbie Steinhaus from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, here on our honeymoon, enjoying the International Snowmobile Festival here in Valcourt.
Chance consolation race. So the consolation race underway. It will be the first 3 racers in this race that will make it into the final. And on the backstretch, Bruce Vasseur makes the challenge, moves into first place. 3 laps here, the consolation. Vasseur onto the front straight, takes first. Right behind him is Ronnie Rathburn. And he continues to challenge. Top 3 sleds are the key ingredient in this, the consolation.
The main thing to remember about this is, Paul, only 3 of them are going to make it, so this is their last chance for the entire weekend to make the finals, the championship race.
Last chance in the Grand Prix de Valcourt to make it into the final round. The white flag comes out. There is Vasseur. Now running in second place is Scott Mondes. Vasseur leads this field out.
Track is very loose in the corners right now, too. They've got a lot of ice up in there, Paul.
Checkered flag now waits for Bruce Vasseur, carrying the number 1 on his sled off of the 4th turn. And there it is, the checkered flag for Bruce Vasseur. Chris Van Dolder comes across in 2nd place. And Ronnie Rathburn finishes up in 3rd. Those 3 riders will transfer into the final.
The last 3 to make the finals.
The final field is now complete. Here's a look at the lineup for the Grand Prix de Valcourt. Now to get a feel for what the crowd is betting on here today. Earlier, Bobby Unser went out to talk with some of the favorites of the fans. Let's hear what they had to say.
We were out wandering around the spectators in beautiful Valcourt and ran into a couple here. My brother, Al, and my son, Robbie. Al, give us a prediction on the race.
Well, Bobby, there's a lot of tough contenders out there. You know, mine, I think David Wall's going to do it. He looks good, and he's with the program as he was with Eagle River, so I think that I picked David Wall.
Any particular reason? Is he faster than the others, or is he a better driver? Why?
Well, his machine's handling very, very well. He's running down the straightaway good, and I think, you know, the guy's just geared up to win again, and I think that he'll do it.
All right, a newcomer to the Ski-Doo team. Robbie, who's going to win, son?
Well, I've been watching this weekend, and I think that Gary Vasseur is looking really strong. He's been running up front and qualifying up front, and I think he's going to pull it off this weekend.
Is he working better than the others, or do you think he's a better rider?
Well, I think they're all pretty much really good riders. I think he's got his sled really tuned really nice right now, and he seems to go through the corners really good. The straightaway speed's pretty equal with a lot of them.
Well, that's from Albuquerque, New Mexico, here in Valcourt. Thank you. Now, Quebec, Canada is known for pretty girls. We found one down here. Where are you from?
I'm from Valcourt. I was born here.
Valcourt. You're right from local girl here then.
Yes,
Who's your favorite? Who's going to win the race?
Well, actually, there are 2 favorites for me. There's Gary Vasseur and there's Dave Wall. The reason for these choices are because Mr. Vasseur and Mr. Wall have both won 2 races out of the 7 races for the NGK Sports Series.
Well, that shows you even pretty girls are good snow fans. Well, the place is full of pretty girls. And believe it or not, I found another one. Who's your choice for the race?
Je pense que Gary Vasseur va gagner ici à Valcourt.
Now, wait a minute. Do you speak English also or just French? Tell us in English.
Yes, I speak English. I think that Gary Vasseur is going to win here in Valcourt today.
Good. It shows to show you they speak English as well as French. And in our rummaging around the fans, here in Valcourt, we found another type of a race driver, a Formula Atlantic driver, Claude Bombardet. Claude, who do you think is going to win this race?
Well, right now I would say it's between Gary Vasseur and Dave Wall, but my pick is Gary Vasseur.
Why do you think, Gary?
Well, I saw him last week at Saint-Gabriel de Brandon, and he won the race by 8 seconds, so I think that's a big margin in those races, so I pick him for the win.
That's the word from a French-Canadian, Formula Atlantic driver. Well, we had to get him out of the parade. He's been outside on the racetrack going around. Al Jr., who do you think's going to win the race? I want to see how your comparison goes to your dad's.
Well, I tell you, I've been thinking about it, and it's tough. You know, you got Gary Vasseur running very quick. You got Dave Wall running very quick. My favorite, a good friend of mine, Jacques Villeneuve, so, you know, I like him a lot. We've been talking to Alan and Chuck Decker. It's tough. All those guys, any one of them could win this one.
So do you have any particular favorite? Is it Jacques Villeneuve?
I guess it would be Jacques Villeneuve, yes.
And that's because Jacques Villeneuve drove Indianapolis cars and they were good friends. Now further in my travels through the crowd here in Valcourt, I ran into another one. And would you believe? Albuquerque, New Mexico. Gerald Sexton. Gerald, who's going to win the race?
Bobby, I think David Wall. David's fresh from his Eagle River win. He's fast. He's going to have some competition from Gary Vasseur, but I have my money on David Wall.
Now he ought to know, and I ought to know because I ride with this guy all the time. Minneapolis, Minnesota, not so far away, good snowmobiling's country. Dave, who's going to win the race?
Well, I'd watched Dave Wall. He ran strong in qualifying. Alan Decker showed us that he can win the Can-Am Challenge. And I think also Jacques Villeneuve with the local advantage.
You're like my brother, you cover them all. Is this your first time here?
Yes, it is.
First time, Minneapolis, Minnesota.
So we've seen the planning, the preparation. Now you have the lineup. And the sleds are on the track. The front row now being aligned. The second row, 4 other sleds moving now into position. And you might be able to tell with the lengthening shadows that the sun is going to be a critical factor in this race, Bobby. When they make the turn into number 3, they're going to turn right into the sun. And if they've got any ice spray in the air, that's really going to cause a problem.
The ice dust linked in with the sun is really going to be bad, Paul. And they're off.
Gingras pulls a nice start, but even better, Gary Vasser in a big crash, several sleds over and upside down, and they will stop this race immediately. Jacques Villeneuve out, and help running down to that corner. The race is stopped, and there is a serious problem. The flag flies. We're racing. Loritz and Gingras both are able to make it back into this fight as the race begins now, and they battle down the backstretch. What a surprise that Gingras and Loritz both back in this field.
Well, Paul, that's really something that they got in. The sled just tumbled, turned over, twisted. Some of them hit the poles down there, and yet they got back in.
Spectacular accident. Across the line, the number 15 of Gary Vasser, who is running out in front now. And with a good, strong run.
David Wall coming up on him pretty hard. David Wall is going to be the serious contender. They're both extremely fast today, Paul.
The Wall coming up to close on Gary Vasser. Wall takes an inside line.
That's interesting how they come off that number 4 turn. Both sleds decide a different play to go. Gary Vasser decides to take the outside line, and Wall takes the inside line, and they both seem to run about the same speed.
Greg Goodwin runs in 3rd place now, but he is being challenged by Alan Decker. The fight is still at the front of the field, and Wall continues to use a line down low. Now, though, Goodwin and Decker both decide to try that lower line coming off of 4. Wall closes down on the leader.
He was closing down a lap before, Paul, but he totally hit the ice dust, and you could see he just had to back off the throttle just for a second because he flat couldn't see.
Battle continues, the front of the field. Again, Wall decides it's more prudent to stay out of the spray of the leader, the 15 sled of Gary Vasser, and they have managed to separate themselves from the rest of the field. Decker lies in 3rd right now.
Coming up on the 5th lap. They're still just kind of feeling their way around. Some of them are trying to see how the others are handling, trying different grooves, a high groove and a low groove.
5 laps complete. Wall is able to inch his way a little further forward and now begins to catch Vasser, the leader.
Alan Decker's in 3rd, Paul. He's slowly been falling behind a little bit. He's the one we expected to possibly be up right flat in the front of this field.
Goodwin brothers running right together here. The front of the field, though, here comes Wall. It's a challenge for the lead. 6 laps complete. Wall still can't overhaul that first place, but he's right there knocking at the back door. Vasseur trying to hold him off. As the 3 and 4 sleds of the Goodwins battle side by side with one another. And Vasseur throws a nice trail coming off of 4. Wall sticks his nose down to the inside, but he can't hold the position. 7 laps are complete. Decker continues in 3rd. 4th is Greg Goodwin. His brother is in 5th.
Paul, Dave Wall is really pushing Vasseur right now. They're just bumper to bumper, nose to tail. The only thing separating them is a little bit of ice dust right there. There's Wall on the bottom. He may, not quite, but he's going to take the lead there.
At the halfway point now. It is still Wall trying to catch that number 15 sled of Gary Vasseur. What a tremendous battle for the lead. It's been a long wait today.
Still halfway to go. Still a long ways to go.
9 laps now being completed as once again Wall trying to repeat his championship of a year ago. He continues his pursuit of Vasseur. But Gary Vasseur has led right from the green flag and has managed to hold Wall off. Wall was able to inch up just a few laps ago. And look at that!
Gary Vasseur slid wide. Dave Wall went right underneath him. He just took one little tiny mistake, and that's what happens when the competition is this close.
I think that's exactly what he was waiting for as well. And while Gary has his problems, Bruce Vasseur, who was in that accident but able to get started, is now running in 4th place and beginning to challenge Decker for 3rd. So Wall is out in front.
Remember now, Wall has won the last 2 races here. Lap 11, and he definitely knows how to win. He's pulled away from Vasseur now, just about a half a second, Paul.
So it's Gary Vasseur who has dropped back just a bit. His brother Bruce is moving up on Decker right now. The Goodwin brothers continue to fight with one another right behind Bruce Vasseur.
Still amazing to see that they got those sleds back in the race after that tremendous accident at the start.
12 laps now complete for Dave Wall. It looks like a repeat victory here at the Grand Prix du Valcourt. Jacques Villeneuve now involved in a nice little fight as well. As Wall running very, very carefully, trying to thread his way through some traffic, and Vasseur takes the lead back. They both get caught up behind a slower sled, and Vasseur goes back to the front.
That was lap 13. That's the lap that Dave Wall's going to say was bad luck for him because it was catching the lap traffic that got him. He's played a little bit conservative and got caught, Paul. But he's moving back up now.
Well, he has very little time. Look at that desperate try as the white flag comes out to Gary Vasseur, the leader. And in 2nd place is Wall trying to catch him. Wall sticks his nose down to the inside, now closest to the outside on the backstretch.
And he's trying to move on the outside. Now let's see if he goes into the number 3 corner where he can stay on the outside.
Again, a slower sled is just ahead. It may not be a factor, but they're closing very, very fast. Wall makes a desperate attempt, comes to the outside. It's going to be close, but Vasseur gets the job done. Wall comes home in 2nd place. Wall in 2nd. Decker comes across in 3rd. And in 4th place is Bruce Vasseur.
Dave Wall almost got another one. Could have been 3 in a row, but Vasseur did it. He waited for the lap traffic to cause a little bit of backing up by Wall. We have a new winner, Paul.
Gary Vasseur has won the Grand Prix de Valcourt. A tremendous run. Picked up the lead at the start. Then Dave Wall got past him, and then using slower traffic, Vasseur was able to forge ahead to the front, and once he got there, he was able to stay there.
Wall was going to be able to put a little daylight between him and Vasseur, but, you know, Vasseur never gave up.
The lap rider went a little wide and left me some room down the center, and I went for it.
One thing was sure, it was a very exciting race.
Yeah, it was probably one of the best races I've ever had. You know, my mechanic showed me I had a slim lead, and I took a look back and saw Davey there, and I knew I was in trouble.
Dave Wall, you had to be quite surprised by the move that Gary pulled on you at the ultimate last of that race.
Oh, that didn't surprise me at all. Gary, he's the kind of a charger that you just expect something like that. I just happened to be in the wrong spot at the wrong time.
Gentlemen, thank you very much. Congratulations for a great race. Back to you, Paul.
It's been a great day for fast Formula One snowmobile racing here at the Grand Prix de Valcourt. Add to that the pageantry of the International Snowmobile Festival, and it's been a marvelous weekend here in Quebec. We're going to leave you now with a look at the Sports Series standings following the race here